pitches and all the pitching, weird pitching stuff they do, and like people throwing like 100 miles an hour and having massive curveballs and
Oh, definitely. I think they're one of the most interesting teams, but then I think quite a lot of that boils down to like money. Is that some of
yeah,
the reason the guys we just said are boring for the Jays is because like they're established names and we know who they are. But if the
yeah,
Rays get that performance out of some just random guy they pick up, it seems more interesting and it is more interesting because it's a bit more
yeah.
unexpected. Like even this year, you feel like their floor is still not necessarily that high,
No,
but their
but
ceiling's really
but
high. They
also
because
also I think they've got actually got a chance of getting the second wild card in the American League.
oh definitely yeah yeah I think so too.
I mean they're just fun, aren't they? I feel like I like root for the Rays a lot. Um, just because it's fun.
Well, I think the teams with a payroll like theirs are basically always having to defy expectations, and defying expectations is fun.
Yeah,
Like they be, they have to be inventive, whether it's with pitching or the lineup or whatever.
yeah, and like and to be honest, that Chris Archer trade looks like immediately looks like a steal, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like one of their starting outfielders and one of their starters have just gone straight in.
Yeah, and Chris Archer actually isn't that good. I mean, there was a lot of there was all the hype for ages about like him being traded. It almost feels almost for like 2 years there was hype about that, but it's actually been like a very long time since he was good. Hasn't he actually
Yeah.
spent more of his career being like just an average starter now than a good one? I think. Just have a quick look. Yeah, he's basically been over 4 ERA since 2016, and then so yeah, he's spent the same amount of time being this all bad. Probably not even an
It's his
average
FIP
starter.
that
That's just
people.
like he's actually spent more time being sort of below average than he had been good, and he was never
Is
like
his
ridiculous.
It's the FIP that people were excited about though, but that now he's just become a guy that like always
Yeah,
has a worse ERA than
like
his
he's
FIP.
still well, yeah, he still strikes out a lot of people. Um, but it's like there's quite a big sample now of him not being that good despite striking a lot of people out. So it's sort of like
Well, it's just one of those things where it's like if you do that for long enough, it stops being, oh no, maybe he'll start getting the results that we think he sort of deserves. And it's like, well, no, this is just who he is. He gives
yeah,
you quite a lot of innings, perhaps, but like he's not an ace type. Like he's going to be getting Cy Young votes every year, sort of guy.
yeah. Like
He's the
like
next tier below that.
like I was talking about the other day actually about the innings eaters, the Petriello article about Keuchel.
Yeah,
That's basically what he was. I mean, I don't know where he was injured last year. I can't remember. But last year
he
he had
was
148.
briefly.
But before that he had 2 years in a row ERA over 4 and over 200 innings.
Yeah.
Is sort of the thing you don't tend to get that much anymore because it's sort of like if someone's not that good then don't use them that much.
Well, and then they've basically swapped him and given out a big deal by their standards for Charlie Morton.
Yeah,
And
I
Charlie
feel like
Morton is going to be the opposite.
that's a great that was a great signing. Like particularly for their the way they like manage their pitches and stuff. It seems like the
Yeah.
perfect fit. Whether they use opener or whatever, or if he just like does like 4 or 5 innings, it like works perfectly, doesn't it? It's like basically how they use Glasnow, and actually, did they use Snell like that?
I don't know. I don't know how exactly they use Snell. I didn't watch enough of them to be.
No, did do I say? Well, he only had 180 innings despite being ridiculously good. I don't know. I think they must have. Where he didn't go deep that much.
Yeah, that's not just them though. I mean, a lot of places just don't. let
Yeah,
them go through the order again and again. Um, so yeah, it basically works perfectly because that's partly because they've done such a good job of like developing a bullpen that you can do that with every single time.
yeah. They've got
Having a bullpen that you trust.
well, they've got a lot of like long sort of ish guys, haven't they, in the bullpen as well? I
Yeah.
think like Stanek. What are the other ones? You got one on fantasy baseball the other day.
Did I?
I think you did.
Oh, Yarborough, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it.
But he
Um,
often does. He often does the middle bit.
yeah,
He's the starter after an opener, I think, quite often. Um, yeah, it's just a. It's nice to see teams doing something differently, and I'd much rather small market teams do this.
yeah.
Go, we're a small market. We now have to tank for 5 years.
And for season, a lot of well, you know, like the commissioner, to be honest, thinks is the sort of thing that's ruining the sport and why it's losing popularity. Which I think is like
Yeah,
the opposite. Is like, you know, you want to encourage people to be innovative and do stuff that's different and fun, and that they're going to try and like make rule changes to stop it, basically.
there's partly
All
it
that sort
seems
of
that other than Adam Silver in the NBA, everyone that is in charge of sport, in charge of every single sport, they're complete idiots.
yeah.
They just seem to not be intelligent people, and
I'm
also are largely old men who think everything should be like it was in the past. That's another part of it.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're like, I think that's the rest and that sort of doing things, and well, not necessarily the way they do it, but you know, the outlook of having different doing different stuff, and I think that's the way that you make baseball popular, is by
Yeah,
encouraging people to do stuff in different ways. Because for
well,
me, at least,
sport's about variety.
yeah, I feel like that's what makes any sport interesting, is if there's variety, if there's teams that play in different ways, and you know, you can have like different sorts of players and stuff like that. I think just variety is what makes sport interesting.
Definitely.
What is their what's that like though? Because we talked about their pitching a lot.
Well, they added Zanino, didn't they?
Yeah,
And they've got Kiermaier, Meadows, Joey Wendell.
yeah.
It's
They've got a load of like infielders that can just like play anywhere in the infield, haven't they?
Yeah. So the projected lineup here is Kiermaier, Pham, Wendell, Garcia, Choi, Meadows, Willie Adames, Zanino, Duffy.
Oh, I forgot about Willie Adames. Actually, it's Willie now. Like he is, isn't he?
Uh, it's just a lineup that's like there's got guys who could be better than you'd expect, but
Yeah,
you'd be surprised if any were worse than league average.
yeah. Is it like they've got the ridiculous depth as well, haven't they? Feels like.
Yeah,
I mean, like, you
yeah,
know, it's sort of in a situation where, you know, someone could just get injured and they put someone else in. It doesn't feel like the team's got any worse. Because
yeah, and
they've got
that's
like,
pretty handy.
I mean, even like Arroyo, Christian Arroyo, who
Yeah, I mean
played a
he's
tiny
probably
bit.
he's a long way down their depth chart now,
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah, I think he probably is. But like when he did play a bit, he was pretty good, and he's like, you know, obviously, as we know, he's been like a highly rated prospect before, like the Giants. So it's one of those where,
Yeah,
you know, like even like him, or someone like him, and they've got they've got loads of others that are actually probably higher rated prospects. Um, but you know, one of those guys just has breakout at some point, and suddenly they're a much better team than people expect. And to be honest, they've set themselves up so that it feels like even at minimum they're going to be like good.
Yeah, I think like their floor's about 500,
Yeah, yeah, maybe actually, but
but that's without like anyone improving. I think like that's just to me that's like people are healthy and they're going to be around 500, even if you get
yeah,
like the lower range of what you
I feel
expect.
like if that everyone's healthy, they'll be better than that. But like with their ridiculous depth, they're not
Uh, their
necessarily.
lineup is it's a little bit meh, but you just trust that they get guys to break out more than other
Yeah,
teams like do. But their lineup like doesn't have. It's just a bit disappointing they didn't get like Edwin Encarnacion or Nelson Cruz this offseason. I would have really thought that would have been quite
yeah,
cool,
that would have been really fun. But
and
it's
it
the
would
thing,
have.
spending money, isn't it? It would have been like a big portion of their payroll.
Yeah, and they chose to go up to Morton instead, which is fine. And then their rotation's going to be like a huge amount. So there is that. Um, yeah, they've got stuff going for them at least, which is so much better than a lot of teams. I mean, all of them could easily, even if they're 500, they're going to be an interesting 100 team because they have three starters who throw over 95 miles an hour with massive curveballs, and that's fun.
Yeah, they're going to be interesting.
Yeah,
They're going to carry on with the opener, aren't they? I really hope they do. Like, just do it more and more.
I think so. Yeah,
Almost because it just annoys a lot of people as well.
yeah, it
It's just
annoys
sort of
all the
funny.
right people.
Sort of funny, isn't it? That annoys people get annoyed about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we pick two? Because we've been going for half an hour with this.
Right. So, which one should we start? We
Isn't
talk
it?
about them.
First order thing. This is basically where we decide who do you think's going to. Should we
I
have a
think the
vote?
Yankees. I think the Yankees are going to be better.
Well, I do as well, so that's convenient. Let's talk about the Red Sox first, then.
Let's rip the Red Sox apart first, then.
I mean, not quite rip them apart, but I feel like you just get the thing. Well, like when Cubs won the World Series, and well, like the Dodgers. Well, even though they get back to the World Series, the Dodgers after the 2017 World Series and stuff. That when when a team has a really good season, everyone's talking about them like building a dynasty and stuff. And but basically because someone had a team had a really good, people think that they're going to do the same again next year. A lot. And like in the Red Sox, I think, and well, it's a little bit in the other cases, is that they were like so good last year. There's almost I still certain. I'm going to go as far as it's 100% certain that they're going to be worse than last year, and almost all their players are going to be worse. Maybe not a lot worse, but everyone's going to be at least a bit worse than last year, pretty much.
Yeah, the big one is Mookie Betts is not going to have one of the best seasons of all time.
No,
JD Martinez might be close to that good.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Mookie Betts, like how good he was. Like, what was it? The War thing, and that was missing a load of games. It's like the third best season in the last 30 years or something stupid. I don't know. That might be wrong, that stat, but it's something like that. And it's like, okay, if he repeats that, then he's immediately in the sort of conversation with ridiculous names of people.
Yeah,
I mean, I think was it something there's Inner Circle Hall of Famers that last year was or based on WAR was better than any season that they've ever had. I
yeah,
think.
yeah. But it's basically he's not going to be that good. JD probably won't be. Andrew
Yeah,
Benintendi could be that level. I think there's the lineup is like Eduardo Nunez could be a bit better. Well, he is still there, isn't he? And Rafael Devers may well be better, and Jackie
yeah,
Bradley Jr.
definitely because people sort of expect him to